Chapter 1. The Call to Awaken, Hearing the Whisper Within. Your life is speaking to you. Are you listening? Awakening rarely begins with clarity. More often, it starts with a whisper, a subtle sense that something isn't right. You might feel restless even when life looks successful on the outside. A quiet ache that says there's more to life than this. A growing discomfort with the noise, speed, or expectations of the world. This whisper is your soul calling you home. It's not loud, it doesn't force, but it persists. The call to awaken is universal and often ignored. Modern life trains us to avoid silence, numb discomfort, and chase distractions. But when we stop, even briefly, we can hear it, that quiet voice within asking us to wake up. Awakening isn't about escaping life. It's about seeing it more clearly, feeling it more deeply, and living it more truthfully. The path begins not with answers, but with honest listening.
Real-life example. A career crisis becomes a turning point. At 38, Daniel had everything he thought he wanted: his own company, a sleek apartment, travel, status. But something felt hollow. He began waking up anxious, exhausted despite winning. His relationships felt surface level. His laughter felt rehearsed. Then one night, after closing a major business deal, Daniel sat alone in a hotel room and wept. He couldn't explain why, only that something inside him had broken open. It felt like the life I'd built was successful, but not real, he later said. He took a sabbatical, began meditating, reading spiritual texts, spending time in nature. Slowly, the noise faded, and a deeper voice emerged. He eventually left his company, not to run away, but to pursue something more aligned, coaching others through meaningful life transitions. Daniel didn't find the path, he heard it and chose to follow.
Practical exercise, listening for the whisper. Take 10 to 15 minutes of quiet time, ideally in the morning or evening. Open your journal and write, "What in my life feels like a whisper calling me toward something deeper? What am I tired of pretending not to know? If I were truly honest with myself, what is life asking me to look at?" Don't rush. Let your answers emerge like seeds through soil. Even one sentence of honesty is a door opening. Summary. The beginning is a listening. Every transformation begins with a call, not from outside, but from within. The call may come as restlessness, burnout, loss, or longing. It doesn't demand attention, but it won't go away. When you listen, life begins to shift. Awakening starts not with a step, but with a pause. In the silence, the voice within begins to speak. Will you answer? Chapter 2. The Illusion of Identity. Who are you, really? You are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears it. Key concepts and insights. From the moment we are born, we are given identities to wear: a name, a gender, a role in the family, expectations of who we should be. As we grow, more layers are added: student, achiever, parent, provider, helper, rebel, victim, hero. We start to believe that these labels are who we are, but they are not. They are roles, temporary and shifting, and behind them something deeper waits. You are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears it. This is the beginning of awakening. When we identify with the ego, the mind-made identity, we suffer. We constantly seek validation, fear loss, and cling to control. But when we realize we are the space behind the ego, a vast stillness opens. This is where true freedom lives. Real-life example. The perfect mother awakens. Maria had always prided herself on being the perfect mom, organizing every detail of her children's lives, keeping an immaculate home, volunteering, never showing weakness. But beneath the surface, she was exhausted, resentful, and disconnected from herself. One evening, after yelling at her daughter over a spilled drink, Maria broke down. She realized she was chasing an ideal that was slowly destroying her joy. She began seeing a mindfulness coach who helped her explore a radical idea. You are not your role. You are presence itself. Slowly, Maria began to drop the performance. She let go of control, started expressing her feelings, and allowed herself to simply be with her kids, with herself, with the mess. I don't need to be perfect to be loved. I just need to be real. That shift from identity to awareness transformed her life. Practical exercise. Witnessing awareness. Several times today, pause and say silently, I am not my thoughts. I am the awareness watching them. Try it now. Watch a thought come up. Don't judge it or follow it. See it like a cloud passing through the sky of your mind. Now notice, the thought fades, but you remain. You are not the cloud. You are the sky. Practice this often, especially when you're caught in emotion, stress, or overthinking. Summary. Letting go to wake up. You are not the roles you've played. You are not the masks you've worn. You are the unchanging awareness behind all experience. The ego seeks control. Awareness offers peace. The ego clings to identity. Awareness embraces the now. Freedom begins when we stop asking, who should I be? And instead remember, I am. Letting go of false identity isn't losing yourself. It's finally meeting yourself. Chapter 3. Presence, the doorway to the now. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. If awakening is a journey, then presence is the path. It is not something you achieve, it is something you return to, again and again. Presence is the art of being here, now. It is the still, alert awareness that exists beneath thought, beneath emotion, beneath time. The mind can only operate in past and future. It replays memories, anticipates outcomes, creates stories. But the soul lives only in the now. The more we dwell in the mind, the more we miss life. The more we rest in presence, the more awake we become. Presence isn't passive, it's powerful. In presence we meet truth. In presence healing begins. Only here, this moment, this breath, can we truly live. Real-life example. From anxiety to anchored. Jason had struggled with anxiety for years. His thoughts raced ahead of him. What if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? Therapy helped, but something deeper shifted when he learned a simple practice, returning to the breath. Throughout his day, Jason began pausing to take 3 conscious breaths at his desk, in traffic, before difficult conversations. At first, it seemed too simple, but over time, it became a lifeline. He discovered that his anxiety didn't live in the now, it lived in imagined futures. The more I came into presence, Jason said, the more peace I found. He still had thoughts, but he wasn't caught in them. He had discovered the doorway. Now. Practical exercise. Conscious breath reminders. Set 3 to 5 reminders on your phone or sticky notes in visible places, example, on your mirror, laptop, or dashboard.
When you see a reminder, stop what you're doing. Take 3 slow, conscious breaths. Feel your body. Notice your surroundings. Say silently, "I am here." Do this often. Over time, it rewires your nervous system for presence. Summary: the power of now. You cannot awaken in the future. You can only awaken now. Presence is not a mystical state. It is your natural state, beneath thought. The mind may resist, but the body remembers how to rest in the moment. With practice, now becomes your home. Every time you return to the present, you return to yourself.
Chapter 4. Inner Silence, Beyond the Noise of the Mind. Silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation. Rumi. The modern mind is loud. Constant thoughts, notifications, to-do lists, inner commentary. It's as if silence has become extinct. Yet awakening cannot happen in noise. It requires space. It needs quiet, not just around us, but within us. Silence is not emptiness. It is presence without thought. It is fullness without form. It is where the soul speaks. The voice of the soul is gentle. It cannot compete with the ego's volume. To hear it, we must get quiet enough to listen. This is the power of inner silence, not forced stillness, but open, receptive awareness. In silence, you're not trying to figure life out, you're allowing it to unfold.
Real-life example. The power of a silent retreat. Maya, a dedicated spiritual seeker, had read countless books and practiced yoga for years. But still, she felt something was missing, like she was circling truth, but never landing in it. She signed up for a 10-day silent meditation retreat. The first few days were challenging. Her mind rebelled, racing thoughts, old memories, discomfort. But around day 5, something shifted. The mental chatter began to quiet. She stopped needing answers. A deep clarity emerged, not from thinking, but from simply being. In the silence, I remembered who I was, Maya said. It wasn't loud, it was undeniable. She returned home changed, not because she learned something new, but because she touched something timeless within herself. Practical exercise, 10 minutes of silence. Each day, set aside 10 minutes for silent sitting. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Let thoughts arise, but don't follow them. Watch them like clouds passing across the sky. Gently return to your breath, or simply to awareness itself. It's not about stopping your thoughts. It's about not getting involved. You're practicing being the space, not the storm. Summary: stillness as the source of wisdom. The mind's noise drowns the soul's subtle truth. In stillness, that truth begins to shine. Silence is not absence, it is deep presence. In silence, clarity replaces confusion. Wisdom doesn't always speak in words. Sometimes it just is. To awaken, you don't need to add anything. You just need to be still enough to remember.
Chapter 5. The Heart of Awareness, Opening to Love and Compassion. Awareness without love is dry. Love without awareness is blind. Together they are awakening. Awakening is often seen as a shift in consciousness, a movement from ego to awareness, from noise to stillness. But this shift is incomplete without the heart. True awakening is not just seeing clearly, it is loving fully. The more we awaken, the more we see the truth. There is no other. There is no separation. We are all different expressions of the same universal life. When awareness merges with love, compassion naturally arises, not as a duty, but as a recognition of shared being. This is the heart of awareness, clear seeing softened by deep kindness. It's what transforms presence into peace, not just for ourselves, but for the world.
Real-life example. A soldier finds peace through compassion. After serving 2 tours in a war zone, Michael returned home haunted by what he had seen and done. He struggled with anger, guilt, and isolation. Therapy helped, but healing didn't truly begin until he discovered mindfulness. One day, during a guided loving-kindness meditation, he was asked to silently repeat, "May I be free. May all beings be free." At first, it felt impossible. How could he offer love to others, especially those he had been taught to see as enemies? But something in him softened. He began to see past the roles, soldier, enemy, victim, offender, and into the shared human experience of pain and longing. "I didn't have to forget what happened," he said. "I just had to stop carrying it with hate." His healing came not through forgetting, but through opening. Practical exercise. Loving kindness meditation. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably. Gently close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Repeat the following phrases slowly, either silently or aloud. To yourself, may I be safe. May I be free from suffering. May I be at peace. To someone you love, may you be safe. May you be free. May you be at peace. To someone neutral, a stranger, colleague, or neighbor, may you be safe. May you be free. May you be at peace. To someone difficult, may you be safe. May you be free. May you be at peace. Let whatever arises be okay. The goal is not perfection, it's opening. Summary: awareness with a heart. Awareness is not cold detachment. It is clear, warm, compassionate presence. The awakened heart sees no boundaries. Love and awareness are not separate. They are 2 wings of the same truth. Compassion is not pity. It's the deep knowing we are the same. When you awaken the heart, life is no longer something to survive. It becomes something to love, moment by moment, breath by breath. Chapter 6. Shadow Work. Facing the Unseen Self. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Awakening isn't all light, it's also shadow. And the deeper you awaken, the more you must turn toward what you once turned away from. The shadow is not evil or wrong. It is simply the part of you you've rejected, denied, or forgotten, out of fear, pain, or conditioning. The anger you suppress, the jealousy you pretend not to feel, the guilt and shame you buried long ago, the inner child you left behind. Shadow work is the soul's invitation to become whole. The goal is not to eliminate the shadow, but to meet it with love, to listen to its pain,
to reclaim its energy, to integrate what has been split off. This is deep healing and a vital part of the path. Healing the shame beneath the surface. Tara was a successful spiritual coach. On the surface, she was calm, wise, and centered. But underneath, she carried a heavy secret, a deep shame from childhood, rooted in emotional neglect and never feeling enough. She avoided this part of herself for years, focusing instead on positive thinking and spiritual bypassing. What it caught up with her through burnout, anxiety, and quiet self-sabotage. Finally, she began shadow work, journaling, inner child dialogue, and therapy. She let herself feel what she had numbed. She didn't try to fix it, she just sat with it, gently, patiently. The moment I stopped judging my pain was the moment it started to heal, she said. Through compassion and courage, Tara turned her shadow into strength. Practical exercise, facing your avoided self. Take 10 to 15 quiet minutes with your journal. Reflect on the following. What emotions or traits do I avoid in myself? E.g., anger, vulnerability, neediness, pride. Where might these traits have been shamed or punished in my past? Can I meet one of them today with curiosity instead of judgment? Let this be gentle. Shadow work isn't a war, it's a reunion. Summary. Wholeness includes the dark. You are not just your light, you are the totality. The moment you embrace your shadow, it loses its power to control you from the dark. The shadow isn't your enemy, it's your forgotten self. What you deny in yourself becomes what you project onto others. Healing begins with honest self-acceptance. To awaken is not to become perfect, it is to become whole, light and shadow, seen and unseen, held in love.
Chapter 7. Letting Go. Surrender as the Path to Freedom. Surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to, rather than opposing, the flow of life. Eckhart Tolle. Key concepts and insights. Awakening is not a process of acquiring more. It is a process of releasing, letting go of everything that is not truly you. Letting go of the need to control. Letting go of the ego's constant striving. Letting go of attachments to outcomes, identities, and even beliefs. At first, surrender might seem like giving up, but it's not defeat, it's deep trust. Surrender is saying, I don't have to control everything to be okay. It is trusting the flow of life more than the plans of the ego. True surrender doesn't mean you stop acting. It means you act from peace, not fear. It is a powerful shift from resisting what is to aligning with what is. Real-life example. Finding peace in uncertainty. David was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. At first, he fought hard, researching every treatment, clinging to hope, resisting reality with everything he heard. But the stress was unbearable. Eventually, he hit a wall, and something inside him broke open. One night, in stillness, he whispered, I don't know what will happen, and I surrender. In that moment, a deep peace entered. He continued treatments, but now from a place of acceptance rather than fear. Surrender didn't cure me, David said, but it freed me. He learned to live in the moment, love more deeply, and trust whatever came. Practical exercise, daily mantra of release.
Each morning or evening, pause and place a hand over your heart. Take a deep breath and gently say, "I release what no longer serves me." Repeat it 3 times. Let it be a soft permission, not a demand. As you go about your day, when stress or control arises, return to the mantra. Let it guide you back to peace. Optional journal prompt. What am I holding on to that I could release today? Summary. Freedom through surrender. Surrender is not the end of your power. It's the beginning of your true power. You don't have to control everything to be safe. You don't have to know the future to feel peace. When you stop resisting life, life begins to flow through you. Awakening doesn't come through force. It comes when we let go and allow truth to rise. Chapter 8. The Interconnected Self. Oneness with all life. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Rumi. Key concepts and insights. At the core of spiritual awakening is a profound realization. Separation is an illusion. We spend most of our lives believing we are isolated individuals, bodies with names, roles, boundaries. But beneath the surface of form, everything is connected. You are not apart from nature. You are nature. You are not observing life from the outside. You are life unfolding. The trees breathe out what you breathe in. The river's rhythm beats within your blood. The joy and sorrow of others echoes in your own heart. Awakening is not just about knowing this, it's about feeling it. This isn't philosophy, it's direct experience. And when you feel that deep unity with all of life, compassion becomes effortless, respect becomes natural, love becomes who you are. Real-life example. Unity in the mountains. After years of city life and inner disconnection, Layla took a week-long solo retreat in the mountains. No phone, no schedule, just silence, space, and the forest. On the 3rd day, sitting by a stream, something shifted. Her thoughts quieted, her identity loosened. Suddenly, she wasn't Layla anymore. She was the breeze, the leaves, the sunlight. "I didn't disappear," she later said. "I expanded." It was a moment of pure connection, no separation, no self-image, no struggle, just being. That moment changed her forever. Practical exercise. Reconnecting with the living world. Choose a quiet spot in nature, a park, a tree, a garden, or body of water. Sit or stand in stillness for 10 to 15 minutes. Breathe slowly. Feel the air, the earth, the light. Now shift your attention from observing to joining. Say silently, "This tree and I are not separate. We are one expression of life. I am this earth, this wind, this moment." Notice what happens in your body. Let connection arise, not as a belief, but a feeling. Summary. There is no other. You are not separate from life. You are life. The borders between you and everything else exist only in the mind. The pain of others is your pain. The joy of the world is your joy. The healing of the planet is your own healing. Awakening is the end of the illusion of separation. It is the beginning of living as the whole. Chapter 9. Embodied Awakening. Living from the Truth. Awakening isn't about leaving the world behind, it's about showing up more fully in it. Awakening isn't complete until it touches how you live. It's not just a shift in perspective, it's a shift in embodiment. It must move from your mind into your body, from silent insight into spoken truth, from inner clarity into daily action. Real awakening doesn't take you out of life, it roots you deeper in it, with more honesty, integrity, and love. This is embodied awakening, when the realization of who you are becomes the way you live, relate, work, speak, and serve. It asks not just, what do I believe, but am I living what I know to be true?
Real-life example. Integration through everyday life. Sophia, a holistic healer, had a deep spiritual awakening during a silent retreat. For a time, she felt overwhelmed. How could such peace exist in meditation, but vanish in traffic, parenting, or difficult conversations? Instead of escaping the world, she chose to integrate her awakening into it. She practiced speaking honestly, even when it felt vulnerable. She brought presence to simple chores. She made work an offering, not a task. I stopped trying to stay in high states, Sophia shared. I started living gently, truthfully, in every moment I could. Her awakening became embodied, not in what she said, but in how she moved through life.
Practical exercise. Aligning with inner truth. Each day, ask yourself one simple but powerful question. Is this action in harmony with my truth? You might ask this before sending a message, making a decision, saying yes or no to something. Pause. Listen inside. Does it feel aligned or off? Over time, you'll begin to recognize the subtle wisdom of your body and heart. This is living from the inside out. Summary. Awakening lived, not just known. Enlightenment isn't something you visit, it's something you live. It's how you speak when you're angry. It's what you do when no one's watching. It's the courage to follow inner truth over outer approval. Awakening is not about transcending life. It's about inhabiting it fully, with presence, purpose, and compassion. Chapter 10. Awakening as a lifelong journey. Awakening is not the end of the path. It is the beginning of seeing the path everywhere. Awakening is not a peak to reach. It is a path that unfolds, moment by moment, layer by layer, breath by breath. It is not one grand revelation, but thousands of small recognitions. It is not a final arrival, but a deepening return to self, to truth, to life. Each moment life whispers, "Come home again, go deeper, let go more fully, be here more truly." There is no finish line, there is only now, and in each now, the opportunity to awaken again. This is the humility and beauty of the journey. We are all beginners, forever being taught by life. Real-life example. Awakening through the seasons of life. Arun, a respected spiritual teacher, experienced his first awakening in his 20s during a silent meditation retreat. He felt boundless peace, unity, and freedom. But years later, after marriage, parenting, and personal loss, he realized that was just the beginning. The birth of his child awakened compassion. The death of a parent awakened grief and surrender. Even ordinary moments, doing the dishes, comforting a friend, became doorways to deeper presence. Every chapter of life has its own lesson, Arun shared. Awakening keeps unfolding, Not upward, but inward. The deeper he walked, the simpler it became. Be honest, be kind, be present. Practical exercise. Reflect on the evolution of your awakening. Take time today to reflect or journal. How has my experience of awakening changed over time? Was there a moment that opened your heart or shifted your perspective? What is life inviting me into now? Is it asking you to slow down, to let go, to speak your truth? Remember, awakening does not mean being perfect. It means being more real, more open, more present with what is. Summary: the path is always now. Awakening is a lifelong unfolding. It doesn't mean you always feel bliss. It means you're always listening, more deeply, more honestly. Life is the teacher. Presence is the path. Love is the compass. There is no final enlightenment. There is only the next moment and how awake you are within it.
Epilogue. Embracing the infinite journey. Awakening is not a destination on a map. It is the ever-unfolding journey of coming home to yourself. As you close this book, know that these words are not an endpoint, but an invitation. An invitation to keep listening to the whisper within, to keep stepping into presence, and to keep embracing all parts of your being with love and curiosity. The path will not always be easy or clear. There will be moments of doubt, pain, and confusion, and that is part of the process. These moments are not obstacles, but gateways to deeper wisdom and compassion. Remember, you are never alone on this journey. You are part of a vast web of life, a living universe awakening through countless hearts and minds, through you. Every breath is a chance to begin again. Every moment holds the seed of awakening. So move forward gently, bravely, and with an open heart. Allow your life to be a sacred expression of the truth you discover, not just in meditation or solitude, but in every smile, every challenge, every act of kindness. The journey is infinite, and your awakening is the most profound adventure of all. May your path be illuminated by presence and your heart forever guided by love.